Byron Bledsoe, Byron Bledsoe. I'm the senior pastor of C3, and I became the pastor at the very beginning. In fact, C3 was kind of born in my heart and the hearts of several other leaders, and then we launched C3. C3 began in 2008, January of 2008. 92% of the people that are at C3 were not a part of any church before they came to C3 for at least 5 years. So the primary demographic is people that are unchurched, or you might say de-churched, people that may not necessarily have a problem with God or an issue with God, but don't see the church as a benefit to their lives. 86% of the people in Florida never go to church, not even Christmas or Easter. And so C3 is for that 86%. And then when it comes to ages, predominantly, we reach people in their early to mid 30s with young children. However, you'll find people of all ages at C3 because it's really structured where more than targeting a specific age, we really try to add value to people's lives. We try to let people know they matter and that they're important to God, they're important to us, and we want to love people. And because we do and we're authentic in that, people are drawn to that. C3 Kids is amazing. We started C3 Kids because I grew up in church, but I was bored. And we really wanted a ministry in the life of the church that would impact the lives of kids and parents. And so we say all the time that C3 Kids is all about engaging kids and empowering families. And we really do want to come alongside parents and not replace them. That's impossible. That's not our desire, but partner with them. Because we believe in this world, kids have to wrestle with a lot of things, so much more than we did. And so we want to empower them to wrestle to win. And we want to do everything we can to be an asset to parents. So we provide a ton of free resources to parents, helps every single week that they can take home and go over with their kids. And then we make sure that kids love C3. One of the things I hear the most often is how much kids love C3. I grew up in a Christian home. My grandfather was a pastor, and I really had no interest in doing that until I was in college, and really just a very personal experience with God and the way He transformed my life, or began transforming it on the inside. I'm still a work in progress, but I believe it's a calling from God that He put in my life. I can't imagine doing anything else. In fact, I can't believe I get to do this, because I get a front row seat to life change. I get a front row seat as a pastor in people's lives, whether they're walking through difficult things or going through exciting things, where I watch God work in their lives, their marriages, their parenting, their career, their finances. I get to watch people find hope and be a part of that process. And so I think the first church that I pastored, I was 20 years old. I still pray for those people because I had no idea what I was doing. But I really, what I love about ministry is that Jesus, when He was asked, what's the bottom line, said it's loving God and loving others. And that's what we get to do in ministry, and it's a blast. I think there's several things that make C3 unique. One of the things that we realize, and I think everybody knows this, is that not every church is for everybody. And so part of what makes C3 unique is our mission. Our mission is we are on purpose going after people who are not connected with the church. There are other churches that do an amazing job ministering to and serving the needs of people that are connected with church. So that's one of the unique differences. The other thing is we like to use the phrase that C3 is the church where people who don't like church love to attend. And so we structure everything we do, from the morning service experience to what we do in children's ministry, student ministry. We think about excellence, and we structure those things in a way that no matter who you are, you don't have to understand an insider language. There's nothing political to it. Nobody's going to feel like an outcast. On purpose, we structure it where everyone's going to feel welcome. I think some churches do a better job of that than others. C3 is not a social club. It's not a political rally. We've all been to churches like that. We also recognize we're not in competition with other churches. So if somebody comes and they don't prefer our style or what we do, we can have a conversation and say, well, what are you looking for? And when they explain that, we're able to point to 2 or 3 great churches in the area that will better fit what they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, all of us as churches ultimately have the same mission, and that is to bring hope to people's lives, help them connect with God in a personal way. I'm biased towards C3. I think it's the greatest church in the world because of the people. Man, if you could just meet the people that are a part of C3, they actually love people, care about people, invest in people, serve people. I think the biggest thing that makes C3 unique, the secret sauce of what's happening, is the people that are a part of the movement because of the way they love other people. We launched C3 in 2008 at the movie theaters in Regal Cinemas. We had transitioned from a different church before that. I pastored a different church in Orlando, but we really launched C3 January of 2008 at Regal Cinemas in Waterford Town Center in Orlando. Now we meet at Timber Creek High School, which is in the Avalon community of Orlando. I understand that going to church, going to any particular church the very first time, can be intimidating because often we have no idea what's going to happen. If you're going the first time, you're not sure where to go. You're not sure if the people are friendly yet or not. What I would say to someone that's considering coming to C3 for the first time, just try it once. No strings attached, just try it once. And I'm so confident that what you're going to experience will be beneficial to you, helpful, potentially even life-changing. I believe that'll happen eventually, but maybe even immediately. I'm so confident in those things, I can say just try it once. Because I believe once you do, you're going to want to come back because of what you experience, and it only lasts 60 minutes. But I believe it's 60 minutes that will make the other 10,020 minutes of your week even better. So what do you have to lose? 60 minutes that's going to benefit the other 10,020 minutes, and you can just try it once and see for yourself. There are multiple ways to get plugged into the life of C3, because we want people to know and experience the benefit of added value to life. When I invest my life in someone else's life, there's added value. And so we have set up and tear down teams. We have check-in stations helping families check in their children. We have people, hundreds of volunteers that serve in children's ministry, engaging kids on their level, helping them know more about Jesus on their level. We have a worship team that is amazing. The music will blow your mind. It's not typical church music. It's not what you think about when you think about church music. It is incredible. We have tech crews that do sound and lighting, and it's pretty advanced. And so there are so many ways. There are community groups. If you want a safe environment to ask your questions or connect with other people in the journey of life, processing some of the same things you're processing, you can dive into a community group. There are so many ways you can be a part of a movement where you know your life has added value because you're making a difference. When it comes to C3, there are a lot of people that attend. I believe the last thing I saw is there are just over 2,000 people that consider C3 their church. A lot of the people that are part of C3, because they're new to church or new back to church, don't necessarily come every single week. 42% of Orlando works on Sunday mornings, so a lot of people are in the hospitality industry and they're off every other week. So on any given Sunday, it can vary. Most people that are a part of C3 come once or twice a month. A lot come more often than that. But it's a large place. And really, with C3, as it grows larger, we also want to grow it smaller. So you can definitely make some life-changing, beneficial, helpful friendships, but you're not going to feel like it's awkward and you're sitting somewhere by yourself with just a few people. If you want to connect with C3, I think maybe the best front door is the website, and that is C3 Church, the letter C, the number 3, c3church.cc. When you go to the website, all the basic information is going to be there, and you're going to get an idea of who we are. If you have specific questions, we're happy to answer those. You can email us at info at c3church.cc. We would love to hear from you. Okay. There are honestly so many fond memories of C3. I remember our very first Sunday in the theaters, Regal Cinema at Waterford Town Center. It was such a huge day, seeing kind of the vision come together. And then our first Sunday at Timber Creek High School. seeing that come together and watching and how God was bringing more and more people. But honestly, I have to say, every single Sunday is my fondest memory, because every single Sunday, somebody, in fact, a lot of somebodies, are trying C3 for the very first time. It's their first experience. Maybe they're walking through a crisis in life, and the thinking is, if there is a God, I wonder if He could help me. I'll try it. Maybe that week they heard somebody say, I don't love you anymore, or they heard a doctor say, hey, I've got some bad news, or they're dealing with something with one of their kids. And I don't know that there's a more hopeless feeling as a parent when you feel like you can't help your kids. So there are a lot of reasons that people turn to church and consider church and are willing to deal with kind of overcoming the intimidation of going somewhere for the very first time, because there's a desperation of the soul that we can have sometimes of, man, I need more than I have, and maybe God's the answer. And every single Sunday, there are people that drive onto the campus, and we have parking guys that we do event-style parking, and from the moment you come on the campus, one of the things you're going to understand is that you matter. Every single person matters. There's not a hierarchy. There aren't the important people and the unimportant. Every single person is deeply loved by God and matters to God and matters to us. And so we have hosts that will host you if it's your first time. You put your flashers on, there's signs there. We have VIP parking for first-time guests. They'll host you through the process. They'll help you check in your kids. They'll help you get your kids to their different atmospheres wherever they're going. It's called C3 Kids. We have uptown and downtown, preschool and elementary school. They'll get you to the auditorium where the service is going to be. We even have people that will sit with you, and not in an awkward and weird way, but in a friendly way, because we really do want you to know that you matter. So every Sunday is my fondest memory, because life change happens every single Sunday.